Hello everyone, welcome back to GreatBroadwayFan's YouTube channel. I'm Luke, and today I have a very special video. I'm bringing you the Star Wars The Force Awakens review with my very special guest and my very best friend, Kayla.
Hi. Good to see everybody.
So, we both saw the movie last night.
At 8 o'clock?
Yeah, Saturday the 19th of December. We didn't see it together, however. We have two crazy different viewing experiences, and here's how this review is going to be structured. The first half, we are going to talk about non-spoiler material regarding the film. So if you have not seen Star Wars The Force Awakens and you want to remain unspoiled, you can watch the first half of this video, and then we will make a disclaimer.
Pause. And we're going to pause. We're going to pause. And we're going to tell you. So we're going to tell you this now. We're going to tell you this now. But we're also going to reinforce it halfway through.
Yes.
We're not holding back.
We are not. No.
I especially won't hold back. I'm
no.
the saltiest person you're ever going to meet. I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel.
She is amazing. And that is why I wanted her for this video. But yes, and when we get to the spoiler section, we will make it full disclaimer. And if you want, you can click out of the video, or you can watch it all the way through, and as always, I will put chapter times in the video description so you can skip around when we talk about a specific point of the movie. So without further ado,
let's go.
Star Wars The Force Awakens. So why don't you go first? You have the more exciting experience story when you watched the movie. Oh my gosh.
The drama. So we had a heart-stopping moment. I actually won tickets through Verizon Wireless, and this isn't a sponsored video, but thank you Verizon Wireless for the tickets. I chose a hashtag in Theory Wars and won the ticket, as well as a $30 gift card to AMC. So thank you, AMC. However, at the mall, there was a massive power outage before the movie started, and it was incredibly hilarious. I was howling with laughter because the power went out. People started screaming. Power came back on. People were like, "Ah!" And then the power went out again, and this happened repetitively over and over. So the people that were in the showing before us actually left, and their movie was interrupted, and they didn't come back. So they were given refunds, and the power came on about 10 minutes before showing again. So we were ushered into the theater, and everything was perfect. And our theater was actually about half empty, and it was a private venue just for Verizon Wireless subscribers and the people that had won this contest. So 3D and no trailers, and it literally just popped in, and we had rounds of applause and screaming once the Lucasfilm logo came up.
Yeah, we had applause as well. We had like all of the trailers that came out, and I saw it in IMAX 3D, and I have to tell you, I've never seen a movie in IMAX 3D before, and the experience was something I will never forget. But when the Lucasfilms logo came on, silent, pin drop silent, and then the blue font with "A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away," this, you could hear everyone holding their breath, and the second the Star Wars logo came on with John Williams' empowering score that opened it, was incredible.
Yeah, I definitely put both fists in the air after the silence. It went ba-bam, and the whole theater started laughing. So I am that person, unfortunately. Okay, you want to give our rating at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. We give it a 9
out of 10.
All right.
We thought it was stupendous.
Okay, he's gonna talk about J.J. Abrams and the passion.
Yes, J.J. Abrams. You can tell when you watch this movie just how passionate he is about Star Wars and how much he pays homage to the original trilogy. Definitely. And how much he appreciates the entire Star Wars brand. Mm-hmm. You can tell that you have a dedicated director with this movie. And
bringing Lawrence Kasdan back on for writing was an incredibly intelligent move.
Oh, yeah.
And this is very important to remember, they didn't keep on with the expanded universe canon. So EU was totally thrown out the window. And
right.
If you are a fan of EU and you have read into that, you need to go into this movie not expecting expanded universe theory or canon. So definitely keep that in mind. And the best thing about it is in the film, I only counted 2 J.J. Abrams lens flares.
Yeah, basically, for those of you who don't know, the Star Wars canon just includes the 6 films and then the 2 animated television series that were on Cartoon Network, which I was a huge fan of for many, many seasons.
It was good.
Okay, special effects. Very, very well done. Just like with the original trilogy And even going so far back, because I just watched a behind the scenes on The Wizard of Oz, they don't cheat with the special effects in this movie. They're right in front of the camera, and the ones without CGI are very, very well done. And the CGI that is done in the movie is very tasteful. And you were saying...
gritty. It
yes.
matched the grittiness of the film, unlike where we've had remasterings of historical Star Wars films in the past where it's just glaring, this is CGI and this wasn't. It's almost difficult to tell where the CGI is in this film, and I am definitely impressed with the graphics crew that worked on this.
Yes, very well done. And the 3D effect does help when you have the giant... first order ships that are coming at you out of the screen.
If you're worried about 3D, I really abhor 3D, and to be totally honest, this is the only film that I've enjoyed in 3D and hasn't given me motion sickness. So I really do recommend, and the glasses are well done. You're not dealing with a red and blue lens. You're using with modern film techniques for 3D technology, so you'll really enjoy it if you see the 3D version.
Yes.
Okay, you talk about the ensemble cast.
Just... overall, the ensemble was incredible, and we are both a huge fan of how diverse the cast is, and how
beautiful.
Just beautifully diverse
beautifully done.
Yes, and how we're both fans of female empowerment and female leads in movies, and Daisy Ridley's character Rey does not weaken the plot in any way, shape, or form. As a matter of fact, she's one of the strongest elements of this entire movie.
Definitely. And we'll get to more on that in the spoiler section, so hang on tight. But Daisy Ridley was definitely the fit for this. And I'm extremely pleased they did not cast Elizabeth Olsen in this role, because I'm 100% convinced she couldn't have pulled it off. Daisy Ridley's voice is this very seductive and warm alto, and throughout the entire movie, you hold on to this strength and vocal as well as physical presence, and she really just holds her own and outshines literally the best actors in the world in this film.
Yes, and I think that just her presence on screen was just, she felt very comfortable in this part, and of course, I am a huge fan of British accents, and I thought that hers was just alluring and delicious. It was delicious.
It was very lush.
Very, very lush. And loved it. Okay. All right. I turn it over to you to talk about, once again, no spoilers here, but we're going to touch on Kylo Ren.
I'm actually going to talk about Adam Driver before getting to Kylo Ren, mostly because what I have to say about Kylo is a definite spoiler section video. Adam Driver, long story short, very, very impressed with his performance. I have not liked Mr. Driver in anything that I've seen prior to this movie. I think his emotionally disturbed boyfriend bullshit
It's okay. It's okay.
Put in the captions. Strong language. I think that he's done a very poor job in many of the films that he's been in, as well as television, and I'm not sure if it's writing or a combination. However, in this movie, he did a fantastic job of portraying daddy issues and tortured soul who's also out to torture everybody else. So I do give Adam Driver 2 very, very big thumbs up for his portrayal, and I'm kind of in love with him now. So
yeah, he was very, very well done. We mostly see in the trailer him in his mask, but there is a moment, and this is not a spoiler section, but when he does take off the helmet, you can see behind his eyes. Yeah. And there's a brilliant line where Lupita Nyong'o's character, she's this 1,000-year-old wise alien, she says, "I've seen the same eyes in different people for so many years," or I'm butchering her line right now, but you can tell with him that there's so much going on behind with the subtle acting moments.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll touch on that more in the spoiler section.
Yes.
Okay, and you're going to do Phasma and Isaac. Okay.
Captain Phasma. I was really looking forward to this because I don't think we've ever, within the Star Wars universe, we've never seen a female in the villain's role as such of a strong, in any strong female regard, that usually the antagonists of the Star Wars movies are always predominantly male. So to have Captain Phasma was very, very a good addition, but
She wasn't there.
She wasn't there. I mean, she wasn't. And it's really unfortunate. And it's just like, you have this strong female character who's a captain in the First Order, and yet you didn't do anything.
And the actress happens to be bigger than pretty much everyone in Hollywood. So
right.
You're talking physically strong, as well as an incredibly strong acting presence.
Yes.
And I felt like she, had 4 lines?
Must have.
Basically in the entire movie?
Okay. Oscar Isaac as Poe Dameron. Oh my gosh, he was very, very good. Very, very well done. Well casting. This is not a spoiler because this is in the trailer, but when he's getting tortured, that scene, very, very well done.
Yeah.
I thought that his acting completely sold it. And
Absolutely.
really, really big fan.
And he adds some moments of really interesting comedic effect in very intense scenes. So
yes.
I think you will enjoy his character, but again, not present very often in the film.
Okay.
And I'm doing Carrie Fisher.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not going to touch on any spoilers, but Carrie Fisher, wow, I was very disappointed. I was very disappointed. She looked gorgeous. They did a phenomenal job with makeup and de-aging her, but lines were very weak, and I almost wonder if it's because of her voice quality as it's aged. She sounded very aged, and it was difficult to listen to her and take her seriously. She doesn't embody the strength that she did in her younger years in the first Star Wars films.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it was great to have her there. It was great to have the original cast back for this movie. But of the original cast coming back, Carrie Fisher was definitely the weakest in terms of the acting that we got to see in the film.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
She's definitely the weakest, which is very saddening.
It is. Because I love Carrie Fisher, and I really like Princess Leia from the originals.
I agree, but thank goodness Daisy Ridley was there to carry the movie.
Yes.
Okay, so design and world building, that's you?
Yes, scenic design. Oh my gosh. Very, very well done. I thought that the... what's the name of the planet that Rey lives on? Jakku. Sorry, I saw the movie last night and I forgot. Okay.
There's me over here as the Star Wars caller, Jakku.
Yes. I thought that and this is also in the trailer, the wreckage of the ships from the Galactic Empire crashed and basically almost decimated in this desert planet, very similar to Tatooine. And Rey going through there, like plucking out pieces and then selling it to like a pawn shop or something so she can get for food. Yes, because she is poor and she's an orphan. She's a
scavenger.
She's a scavenger, yes. And I thought
she lives in the wreckage.
She does. She lives in the wreckage of an AT-AT. You may have remembered those from Empire Strikes Back when on Hoth, those giant 4-legged robotic creatures. Yeah, she lives in the wreckage of one of those, which is very, very good. And just, I thought that, like we said earlier, the balance of both CGI and realistic special effects, great. I thought that the planets were excellent. That snow planet with the First Order's giant, like the new Death Star, basically, is Star Killer.
That's what it's, yeah.
Yes, okay. It's basically built into this giant planet, and it absorbs power from the sun, which is very.
Spoiler.
Oh, sorry. Only thing, sorry, nothing major, but yes,
That's okay.
Completely screwed
That's
up.
Okay.
We're almost.
Google's worse right now, so we're not even.
Google and Twitter are so much worse.
Don't worry about it. That was nothing.
Yeah, nothing major. But overall, loved the world building of this, and just A+ in my book for the scenic and world design.
Okay.
Loved it.
Soundtrack. I'll touch on that really quickly. Phenomenal. John Williams is back. I work for the San Diego Symphony, and John Williams actually had to cancel a concert with us because he was working on the soundtrack. So I'm going to call it fine. It was worth it.
Yes.
Soaring moments as well as new melodies. He's back in black. He hasn't changed anything really, and you will enjoy the soundtrack as much as you have in the past, and I'll touch on some more of that in spoilers. Okay.
Which we're getting to right now.
Spoiler.
This is your last chance. If you don't want to remain spoiled, you should leave. Tread cautiously at your own free will. You have been warned. Okay. Now we are finally in the spoiler section. Once again, we're not holding back.
No holding back.
Okay, so let's
just totally click out. I mean, I'm serious. This is your chance. Okay.
Here we go.
Meep. All right. I'm going to talk about Han.
Oh.
First.
No.
You guys, Kylo motherfucking Ren kills Han Solo, who's his father.
No, yes.
So instead of having Luke Skywalker going, no, now you have the whole audience going, no!
Yes, it is revealed
It was awful.
that Kylo Ren is in fact Ben Solo. He is Princess Leia and Han Solo's son, who we learn in backstory was Leia sent him to be trained by Luke because Luke was planning on training a whole new generation of Jedi, but Kylo Ren unfortunately was seduced by the dark side,
He was obsessed by Grandpa. He was
obsessed by Grandpa,
Granddaddy for
Darth Vader.
He was obsessed by Vader, and seduced is the good word. It's the proper word to use here. And Leia tells Han, you gotta bring back our son. There's still light in him. And Kylo Ren just sticks his lightsaber straight through him. I'm gonna thank Chewie though for totally going ballistic and like say hello to my little friend. I mean, he kills all of the stormtroopers. He detonates the bombs that destroy the planet. It's amazing. But Han Solo dies, and I was actually balled up with tears coming down my face because I have actually had Harrison Ford protect me from Mark Hamill backstage
at Comic-Con.
and it literally, Harrison Ford is Han Solo in real life too. I mean, he's as salty and he nitpicks at Mark Hamill just like he nitpicks at Luke Skywalker in the historical films. And he literally told Mark Hamill to leave me alone because I didn't know who he was and I was just a baby face and blah blah blah. So I feel emotionally invested to Han Solo, and Kylo killed him.
Yes, and I think that, and of course this is just completely like, I was kind of expecting it when he walked out on that ledge. When he walked out on that giant ledge, it was over. And then,
it was an homage to every film that we've had already, that the one that we love has to die, or somebody's redeemed and they die, but Kylo doesn't redeem himself. And I think there's actually, from a film analysis standpoint, I think that...
Which we were both in the same film analysis class.
Yeah, this is kind of why we're here.
Yes.
So, the sun is the primary... charging force for the Star Killer.
Yes.
As they drain the sun's power from the star into the planet, then they can launch an all-out attack and blow up planets just like the Death Star, but multiple planets and multiple systems at a time.
Yes.
And in the scene where Kylo kills Han, brutally murders him, as the sun is going out, there is about a whole second and a half where you stop and you see in Adam Driver's eyes that he's communicating that, I love you, Dad, and I might go with you. And then the Star Killer has drained all the power from the sun, it goes dark, and then you can see the light switch just go off, and Kylo succumbs to the dark side.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Like, I mean, Chewie was screaming. We had people in my theater that were just, like, gasping. Sobbing. Oh my gosh, it was terrible.
You kill Han.
And, of course, the one thing that I will say that was good in Carrie Fisher's performance was how she sold the acting moment when she could feel in the Force that Han had died.
She literally mimicked Alec Guinness's performance in the first Star Wars when
Alderaan,
okay, that's my turn. When Alderaan blows up and Alec Guinness stops and goes, I felt a great disturbance in the forest, as if a million voices cried out in unison. Okay.
And then we're suddenly silenced.
Okay, so she does the same thing when Han dies. She actually takes a breath and falls back, and that for me was telling, in that we know he's dead and he's not coming back and he's gone.
Yeah. And I honestly thought that Harrison Ford's performance was very well done. Yep. I mean, unlike Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, him coming back and revisiting this character, it was perfectly what a welcome back to it, and so well done. And I kind of am pissed at you, Harrison Ford, because you were the one that wanted to get written out of this movie, and I don't know why, because Star Wars is such a huge part of world culture in your life. Yeah. But you know what? Rest in peace, Han Solo. Okay, but my theory has gone down the toilet. My original theory...
Mine is good, though.
Her theory's great. My theory went down the toilet because I originally thought when I saw the trailers, I honestly thought that Kylo Ren was going to be Luke's son, which would make him Darth Vader's grandson. And technically he still is, but he's the son of Han and Leia. But now, our new theory... Why don't you go ahead and say that one?
So, I'm pretty sure everyone feels at this point, if you've seen the movie, that Rey is Luke's daughter. My theory is because you see Kylo Ren absolutely go batshit crazy, just insane when he hears the girl. When the stormtroopers are reporting that the vigilantes are with a girl, he actually like force chokes and says the girl and goes crazy.
And throws a temper tantrum with his lightsaber and just starts
He throws multiple temper tantrums with his lightsaber. That
was the kind of moment that I'm like, this guy is clearly not thoroughly trained.
He's got some daddy issues.
He's got daddy issues, and he's not as the kind of like sophisticated like proper Sith Lord that Vader and Sidious was before him. He has daddy issues and throws temper tantrums with his lightsaber.
He's still very young in the Force and hasn't been trained. But yeah, I think that it's because Kylo knows that Rey is Luke's daughter. And my theory is, so Luke basically goes into hermit mode. Mm-hmm. Just like Obi-Wan Kenobi did. So Luke is in hermit mode. He completely abandons his past life, as well as Rey. And in the period of transition from when Kylo is going to the dark side with Snoke, and Luke is basically breaking down, I think that it was Kylo that escorted Rey to Jakku and left her as an orphan on the planet and said, the family will come back to you, and which is why she stayed, because Kylo is her cousin.
That's very interesting. I completely understand and respect that theory. Mine is simply that Luke just, I don't know, maybe because as we know, Jedi are not supposed to form emotional and romantic attachments, and I have this horrible feeling that he fell in love in the span of the in-between of episode 6 and 7 and had a child, and something might have happened. There must be a reasoning behind it, but I mean, it is revealed, this is another spoiler, that the trailers are wrong. Finn is not the Jedi Daisy Ridley is. I mean, Rey's character is. She's the Jedi. She's the one that... And I have to talk about this. There is this brilliant scene when she gets kidnapped by Kylo Ren and she's locked in this torture chair, and there's a stormtrooper guarding the door, and she literally pulls a moment right out of the fourth movie, right out of episode 4, when she's like, you will release these shackles and leave the door open, and he's like, what? And then she's like, you will release these shackles and let me go and leave the door open. And he walks over and she's like, are you talking to me? And then she says the third time. And it happens. He lets it go. He lets her go. And then he's walking away and she says, and you will drop your blaster. He says, and I will drop my blaster. I lost my shit. I was laughing so hard.
Finds out that she has the Force and that she's the light side. And Kylo is freaking out through this entire time. He's like, the longer we let her go, the stronger that she's going to get. So this sort of strengthens my theory that, yeah, he is totally aware that she's been a Jedi this whole time.
Yes.
And we're getting a little bit long here, so to keep it under 25 minutes, Chewie brought on Rey. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Chewie, after going... I don't know, Rocky, or he just went ballistic and killed everybody. Yeah. Chewie brings on Rey as the new captain of the Millennium Falcon since his master is dead.
Which I was, like I said, sad that Han Solo died, but thumbs up that Rey now has a new attachment and everything.
It was great.
And we have 2 more things to talk about. I didn't write this one down, but we just have to talk about BB-8. I thought he was so charming and adorable.
I want one.
And I want one. And I also really like that character was not CGI'd, nor was there a little person in a suit, but it was actual robotics.
And I do have to say that going into the film, I was totally biased against BB-8. I was like, what the hell are they doing? They're bringing in this new little droid that doesn't matter. He's just a cop off of R2-D2. And you fall in love with BB-8. He's like a crossover between R2-D2 and Wall-E, and it makes you just love him. That's right.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about Wall-E. Oh my gosh. Okay,
and last but not least, ready all at the same time. Luke Skywalker doesn't say anything. He's in the film for like 5 seconds, in this super awkward 5 seconds where Daisy Ridley's trying to give him his lightsaber, and he's just like. And he looks like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
He takes the hood off. You can see his bionic hand. And he like she said, he's in hermit mode, living on this remote island on this weird planet. And he senses her. He turns around. He's in like full beard with the gray, takes off the hood. And she's like, this is your lightsaber, and he's just like staring at her so intensely. And then there's this beautiful sweeping shot of around the island, and you can see Daisy, and then boom,
and then it's over.
The movie's over.
This is actually why I gave it a 9 out of 10. It would have had a perfect score. I think that, you know, he was left out of the posters. There's all this speculation about what's going on. Is he actually Kylo Ren? Blah, blah, blah. I think that it would have been best to just keep him in the vision scene where you see his robotic hand touch R2-D2 and not do this, and just not do this scene altogether. Prior to this scene, Princess Leia tells Rey, "May the Force be with you." And I think if we ended it there, it would have been clean, because the audience goes through an emotional tug where that feels like the end of the movie, and then we have this, additional 3 or 4 minute
It was like 3
offset,
or 4 minutes.
And it's just totally like silence and awkwardness and Rey climbing up hundreds and hundreds of stairs, and it really could have definitely been cut out. But that's the reason I'm giving it a 9 out of 10.
And I just feel like, to touch on this very, very quickly, I just think that what the reason behind why they did this is to purposely leave us with a cliffhanger so that we get excited for episode 8.
Yeah.
But aside from that, we love Star Wars to begin with, and we love Star Wars The Force Awakens, so
R2-D2 will always be my role to dial to for all you Star Wars geek trivia guys out there. But I will tell you that this was a phenomenal film, and I can definitely say that the Force has awakened, and you should all be feeling it. So,
yes.
All right, good review.
Good review. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. You can follow me on all 3 of my social media websites. The links to those are in the video description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Peace. Love
Bye.
y'all. Bye.